Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue. Welcome to the LuLu. Yeah, we're at LuLu Country Club, and we're talking with John Rusk. John is the man here at LuLu, as he'll fill us in on what's been happening in the last 3 years. You can see behind me a little construction work. They've been doing construction on things like all the new bunkers they've restored. They've also put in a full irrigation system. Now, this year's project was on 7 holes to rebuild some of the tees. John referred to some of these tees at this club that was designed originally by Donald Ross as looking like potato chips. Well, no more potato chips in their diet. Brand new tee boxes, and this project will linger on into next year as well. And joining John will be Vince Hill. He's the superintendent here at LuLu. He's been here for 3 seasons, and he'll give us his perspective of the work that's being done at the LuLu. That's coming up on this week's edition of Inside Golf. The 28th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the first tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
The Golf Association of Philadelphia. Founded in 1897, GAP is the nation's oldest regional or state golf association. We serve amateur golf in Eastern PA, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. GAP welcomes all golfers, junior or senior, male or female, public or private. Join the Golf Association of Philadelphia today. Our mission is always to preserve, protect, and promote the great game of golf. Before you tee it up, look us up. Visit gapgolf.org to find out more.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues. We are at the LuLu Country Club with John Rusk. He is Mr. Lou.
Mr. Lou, yeah.
Hey, John, let's talk about what you've been doing here. Now it's like 3 years in the making. It all started with all kinds of renovations. It continues into this golf season. Tell us a little bit about the history.
Well, before we
here.
start, I got to say hi to my daughter, Emma, Chase, and Jason.
Chase.
Rusk, Chase Rusk, and Jason Rusk. I told him I'd get them YouTube famous, so let's go.
How about that?
Yep.
There you go. Make sure you're doing
That's
your
it.
homework
That's
every
it.
night.
That's it.
All right. Let's talk about the restoration, what you've done here.
So 3 years ago, we started a restoration project. Tyler Ray came in. We started with the bunkers. Tyler did a great job with Mountain Golf. They redid every bunker here about 3 years ago.
How many bunkers do you have on the golf?
There's about 100 bunkers.
Okay.
So we came in, redid them all. Tyler reshaped them. Mountain Golf built them. Great work there. Then 2 years ago, we came in with Vince Hill, our superintendent, Ewing Irrigation, and Brian Lay from Lay Construction came in and redid the irrigation system. That was a huge project. That's probably the most important project that we've ever done.
The irrigation?
The irrigation. You've got to have water to make the grass green. Now this year, this is the sexy stuff you get into. You get into the green expansions, the tee expansions. So the first 7 holes, the goal was to start in October, but with the bad weather and everything else, we got pushed back till roughly January, and it started snowing. So the Mountain Golf's been out here for about 4 or 5 weeks. And the goal was basically to rip out every tee box. And the architect is Jim Ryan this time. He's with Tyler Ray. So Jim's been laid out a great plan for Mountain Golf to work with, and Vince Hill, our superintendent. But basically, if you can look behind us, every tee box is getting ripped out and getting redone.
Every tee box?
Every tee box in the first 7 holes for this year. And then
when are you going to finish it?
We'll get to that either this fall for the rest of the golf course or next spring. we'll get back after the holes across the street. But it was really important to continue to the plan of continuing to get the golf course better and better every year.
You know, you referenced before we went on air here about how they look like potato chips.
They do.
When's the last time? You have any idea when the last time anything was done? Was it like a Band-Aid thing maybe
I would
over
say
time?
nothing's been done here in 100 years, I would say.
Okay.
They're probably mostly original tee boxes.
So what Donald Ross laid out turned
It's
into
probably
potato
the same
chips.
dirt. There's golf balls, you know, from 100 years ago. But Jim,
Now, did you expand or just level?
Yeah, sure. I mean, 100 years ago, we're doing 200 rounds a day. 100 years ago, they were doing
Sure.
20 people a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've made them as big as we possibly can. That was Vince's big thing is, okay, we're going to redo them. That's great, but let's make them as big as we possibly can because we do a lot of golf here. This is a golf club. We're not a country club. We golf and head to the bar. That's what we do.
And the way guys are playing now, hitting the ball as far as they do, did you have to lengthen some tees?
We did. We added a new tee on one. So it went from 480 to 530. And then the 7th hole, we added another tee on 7. So that went from 435 to about 480. But more importantly, we made it more friendly for, let's say, the person that hits it shorter. So we've added a bunch of forward tees. We added a new forward, basically holes 1 through 7. We added a forward tee.
Okay.
We have a lot of cross bunkers out here that Donald Ross had in, and it's hard for, let's say, the older gentleman or a woman to get it over the bunker in 2. So we moved the tee up 40 or 50 yards. So now the hole's playable. The USGA says play forward. Well, we added forward 7 tees to help them get it around.
Women, where they hit the ball is every bit as important as where men hit the ball. And it's not going to be out there as far, but when they're positioning for for fairway bunkers or whatever,
I agree.
people forget about what
they
women.
do. I'm a huge supporter of women's golf and junior golf, and they need to be up on a forward tee. Women are important. One, they control the man. So if the woman's not having fun out here, she's going to take the man away from LuLu.
Right.
So let's make sure we're building forward tees for the women and for the junior golfers and for the seniors. You want to be able to hit a par 4 and 2. You want to be able to hit a par 5 and 3. You don't want to hit a ball and have to hit a hybrid and then a 9-iron. That's no fun.
Right.
You want to be able to try to get up around the green into and make a par. That's what golf's about.
But for 10 years ago, the USGA was like, hey, take it forward, play it forward and all that. And people said, oh yeah, great idea. But very few of them in practicality did it.
I'll tell you, when we took off, we got rid of the red tees. Okay, we made them green, so we call them the forward tees. Now, a lot of golf courses did. So now, I'm not going to say you're a senior, but the senior player.
I'm a senior.
You're
I'll
a senior.
say it.
So you'll go up to the forward tees. It's not red anymore, so it's a green tee. But you'll go play them because this is a 110-yard par 3 is a lot better than a 200-yard par 3. Let's be honest.
Right.
So
and what's great about golf is you have a handicap for that purpose.
For that
You're not
reason.
going to get the same number of shots if you're playing against somebody in a friendly match as you would if you were playing it back, which is, makes sense, right? It's common sense.
It's so important. I think clubs forget about the forward tees, the women's tees, and the senior tees and the junior tees. I think some clubs tend to forget about that.
So bunkering, irrigation, tees. You got now 7 holes this year. You're going to try to finish it up.
We're going to try to start this
next
fall.
year.
We're going to try to start this fall, that side of the street.
And then what? You start over again?
You know what? I don't know. I will be done with it and start having some fun.
Right.
With my 3 kids.
Right. Well, it's great, and you have a great guy like Vince Hill, superintendent. You have third parties coming in here to do the construction and the design work. So the LuLu, thanks to John Rusk, once again, is in pretty good shape for the future. All right, we're going to meet Vince in just a moment when we come back. All right.
Yes, sir.
We will be back here at LuLu as John will make way for Superintendent Vince Hill next on Inside Golf.
A breath of fresh air, a laugh and a half, a challenge, a celebration, and a much-needed release. Make Montgomery County, PA, your escape.
John planned his dream golf trip himself. The hotel didn't live up to the photos. His transportation was late, his clubs got lost, so he had to use rentals, which he is now breaking. But you booked your trip with All Access. They planned your hotels, food, car service, and tea times. Don't be like John. Be smart like these two.
Psycho.
All Access, the smart way to book your golf vacation.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues. We are at the LuLu Country Club. This is Vince Hill, and Vince is the superintendent. He's in charge with keeping everything playable. And also, Vince, you're a relative newcomer to the game of golf. I mean, you've only been in the business for what, 10 seasons, right?
Yeah, this is the start of my 10th season.
The third season at LuLu Country Club. I spent 7 seasons at Cedarbrook.
Tim up there did a pretty good job getting you ready for this job.
100%. I mean, it's one of the main reasons I'm in this position is
Right.
Because of Tim Kelly. But you know, I didn't start raking a bunker till I was 27, and then you know, 2023, John hired me, and you know, I've been here ever since.
Right. Okay. And obviously, you've been involved now in these 3 seasons. This will be the third in what John was talking about in various restoration projects. What is your role in all that? Because, you know, you have like an architect, and,
Right.
and you know, John, of course, has a little input, I'm sure, and you have a construction crew outside come in. Where does Vince Hill fit into this?
Well, I was lucky at Cedarbrook. We went through starting a master plan and starting to do some work. Right before I left, we redid 4 holes. So I got to
So
work.
you knew what was ahead.
Well, to an extent,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You got working with, you know, whatever construction crew or architect or whoever it was, and even being right by Tim's side, you know, you see how things are supposed to go, what role we do play, you know? So my role is, you know, making sure things are done the way that we say. I'm coordinating with the project manager for Martin, talking to Jim, talking to John, and trying to make changes on the fly as we see fit, because while they're here, to make the good changes and add things in is very important. And then as far as the club goes, you know, making sure that we're staying on budget. If there's things we want to change, presenting it to John and letting him know, hey, this is what it's going to cost. What do you think? How should we proceed? And then, you know, any help they need to, especially as the golf season approaches, to kind of speed things up, whether it's a piece of equipment or a few hands, that's what we'll do.
Yeah. Of the 3 phases, you know, the bunkering, the irrigation, and now with the tee boxes, do you have a favorite? I mean,
Well,
one that you really said, oh man, I can't wait to get into
my
this
favorite's
project.
the bunkering, because I wasn't here for it, so I just inherited
You
it.
just inherited
yeah,
that?
so that was great.
So that was
coming
all
in.
done?
Yeah, it was perfect.
That was put away?
Yeah, come in, brand new bunkers. You don't have to worry about that. They drain perfectly, you know. But no, I to be honest, we're Tyler Ray and Jim Ryan have helped us restore some of these fairway lines.
Hey, let's talk about that.
I like that the most.
So you
because
like widen, reduce,
mostly
depending.
widen, because what happens is over the years the maintenance side of it, we don't push those lines far enough. So, you know, over 20 years,
yeah.
even 2 or 3 inches over that time.
It's like the size of greens.
Exactly.
Over time,
Same exact thing.
the way they mowed,
Right.
gradually they got smaller and smaller. And when you go back and look at old pictures from
Yes.
even 100 years
And-
ago, you
and-
say, wow, this green has shrunk by 70%.
Bunkers aren't supposed to be way out in the rough. They're supposed to be in play, right? So getting that plan and doing that, I like the best, because now when you stand on tee, it looks right. It looks right, as well as we did it. Me and my guys did it. We mowed down the rough, we interseeded it, we aerified it, we babied it in the summer, and we did all those things to restore that, and the cost was really labor and the seed. So
Right.
it saves us a lot of money, and I think
And it's something that golfers, members will notice right away. I mean, like, hey, my ball used to stop here. Now it's getting a roll, and maybe it's going to roll into, like Mr. Ross originally planned, into a bunker.
Yeah, I hope so.
And Tyler Green had what, photographs?
Tyler Ray, yeah,
Or Tyler Ray?
yeah, and you could see it. Like once we started doing it, it became natural that it was like, oh,
That's the way it
yeah,
was supposed to be.
exactly. And it would fade into the bunker, then go around, and if you stare at it from the tee, the line picks up right over the bunker too. So aesthetically, it looks better, but then from playability, it's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And you know that we did this whole side last year. We did 2 years ago. We did 6 holes on that side, and then we'll finish this year with 6 more holes and be done with that.
Right, the project will be complete.
Yeah.
What size of a staff do you have working
Well,
under you?
right about
during
now-
the season.
Yeah, during the you know, right now in the spring and fall, we're usually anywhere from 12 to 14, including myself.
Is it tough getting people to work?
No,
No on crews? No?
I mean I
You haven't had a problem.
I don't have an issue with it. Like again, working with Tim, after my half of first season, he let me go, and he made me do all that stuff because he knew this is where I wanted to be, and it prepared me to do these things, hiring and firing and working with the guys. And I think that's the most important role that I play in a day-to-day is the crew, right? Even I have 2 great assistants. I have another kid in school, you know, so we have a really good turf group, but we can't mow all the fairways, we can't cut all the greens. So we rely on those guys. They come in early, They come in on holidays, they work weekends, they work in the rain today, you know, they work in the cold. So, but in the summer, you know, we'll get some high school kids and some college kids in here to help with the bunkers, weed whacking the property line, and picking up some small jobs.
Well, we mentioned you've only been in the business now 10 years roughly, so you got a late start.
Yeah.
And here you are as a superintendent at a pretty big facility. You wanted originally to be a teacher and a high school football coach, right? You went and played football at Tenet. All right, you don't want to talk about it, but I will. This guy has the distinction of having scored 2 touchdowns in a game. Now you're going to say, well, what's big about that? You know, I mean, well, here's the difference. One was as a receiver, and the other was as a D-back, a pick 6.
Yeah.
Huh? What year was that when you were at Tenet? Do you remember?
A long time ago.
Okay.
06.
All right. It was against a rival, Hatboro Horsham. And you weren't supposed to play because you had been injured, right?
Yeah, well, after I scored, I got injured. But John mentioned about this today, and I said, yeah, I've been on TV before. But
Yeah, but he was wearing a helmet and shoulder
Exactly.
pads
I didn't have to talk
instead
to
of
anybody.
a golf hat and his gear as superintendent.
Yeah.
But Vince Hill, wow, what a change in career paths, right?
Yeah.
From wanting to be a teacher and a high school football coach to having complete control over the grounds here at LuLu. Well done, okay?
Thank you very much.
Keep doing it, all right? Vince is the man here, superintendent at the LuLu. All right, we'll be back. More of Inside Golf coming up. We're going to go up to the patio here at LuLu for our teed off.
Feeling some attire for the 2025 season.
That's sick. Our teed off panel is brought to you by LuLu Country Club. Hey, welcome back. Inside Golf continues. We are on a beautiful day here at LuLu Country Club on the back deck. I'm not sure what hole this. What hole is this?
13. Lucky number 13
is behind us. If somebody hollers 4, we hit the deck, and hopefully we won't be a casualty. But it's pretty close to that fairway. If Jim Sullivan was on the tee, I'd say no problema, but you never know. Speaking of Jim Sullivan, he joins us representing LuLu. You're the official ambassador of LuLu to Inside Golf.
I'm the interviewee from LuLu.
Okay, and because we have a very special topic here, we have, you probably remember these guys from last year, from Philadelphia Cricket Club, Conrad Van Borsik, and from nearby Huntington Valley, Andrew Mason. The reason I bring that up is because GAP's team matches are coming up. It's 123 years and counting, 404 teams this year out of 175 clubs. So some clubs have multiple teams, obviously. And the defending champion, well, we're right here at LuLu. Jim Sullivan is going to talk about that. Conrad's going to talk about
Make sure
how...
we got that, Jack.
Revealing
some attire for the 2025 season.
That's sick. There's just no shame left in this place.
Certainly not.
Conrad and Andrew are going to talk about how they're going to dethrone the Lu. Okay, why don't you take off? How's your lineup? Where did you finish last year?
We came in. It was tight. There were 4 good teams. I mean, we came in second by a few. You guys could have played better, myself included.
Oh,
you know?
Locker room stuff.
Self-reflection there. Wow. I stink. It doesn't take much to admit that. So.
Okay, at least he included himself.
No, I'm top of that list. So
Okay.
We give or take, we've got a good lineup. We got one kid coming back. Top of our lineup's good. Kid Andy Butler's playing really well. He was second low medalist at US Mid-Am, and then we, just kind of fill some holes. Yeah, he was second seed last year, which is pretty cool.
So the Valley is ready to go. Okay, with some
get pumped
improvement
up for
from last year.
A little bit.
Okay, I want to be in the locker room for that pep talk. What's that first match against? Who is it against?
We've got Lanark.
Oh,
Lanark. So
Lanark, and then number 2?
Got Lanark, Overbrook, and Marion. Good, really good.
If
really
I recall,
good guys.
Conrad last year, and he probably would describe the first 2 matches for the Valley this year as being on the cocktail circuit.
Yeah.
Right? Lanark and Overbrook.
Well,
this is
like the Delaware County circuit here. Holy moly!
The other side of the river.
Yeah.
How's the cricket club shaping up?
Well, last year was a great year. We had the most points in the AA in the regular season, but unfortunately they don't give out trophies during the regular season. And we went on to finish dead last in the playoff, unfortunately. So
You going to throw anybody under the bus?
oh, no. Probably some scorecard errors. Wasn't their fault. So, yeah, back to the drawing board big time this year. And we lost a couple star players. Brendan Mahoney moved back to Boston, and Sean Seminitz I don't think will be playing this year. So it's going to be a tough year, but we'll get the young bucks to step up.
Okay. And speaking of young bucks, you got any new young bucks here at the Lou,
I
Sully?
think we have a couple young guys that may be new to the lineup. We have 5 or 6 players that are kind of clearly at a level better than the rest of us, and then there's 25 guys that are kind of interchangeable in those next 10, 15 spots. We have a dearth of talent that's like middle in the bottom of the lineup talent. So there's probably a couple new young guys. We have 2 teams in the top bracket, so it's a little bit of a scramble and shuffle to figure out who are the right ones to play this week, and you know, depending on the course and handicap situation, that sort of thing. But
so you have 2 number 1 teams.
we have 2 teams in the top bracket. It's not easy. I mean, you have to beat a team, challenge up, and then beat a team that's established in those ranks. There's always volatility among memberships a little bit. So there's, you know, over time you see some clubs really strong and then they fade. But you know, the math becomes difficult once you're into April and trying to put your lineups together.
Yeah, you got to consider who's playing with whom, right? Is that tough?
It's not. We've got we've little generational flow. So we've got some young guys, mid-college, and guys who played long-term together. So we try to mix and match some personalities and then look at who we're playing, try to figure out, you know, are we playing LuLu, are we playing Marion, like how do we shift these guys?
And you know most of the people, right?
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
Yeah, okay.
It's 4 weeks of just guys you've played golf with a lot.
We have a few seconds left, so I want to get some predictions, okay? I'll go right down the line to the defending champion in 2 of the last 3 years, 4 years, right?
Let's take another look. I forgot.
There it is.
Yeah, 2 of the last 4.
Did you get that just because you knew we were going to be talking about that today? All right, Andrew.
Top thing in the show.
Who do you like? Okay, and you can include yourself. You can include Huntington Valley in your pick to win.
It's hard not to pick yourselves. I mean, Lulu's the perennial kind of heavyweight. I'd say perennial at this point. There's a little gap, a few years there between the 21 and 24, if you'll notice. But they're kind of the stalwart right now. So kind of any of us trying to dethrone them would be where I put our chips, and we'll see where they come out.
Take your chances.
Yeah.
Conrad?
Well, I think there could be a few dark horses this year. It's a more exciting year because you're starting to see some turnover, I think, in memberships and some younger people coming. So I think 2 teams to look out for, 1912 and Ledge Rock will be a sneaky one out in Reading.
Ledge Rock.
I think.
Yeah. I don't disagree with the dark horses and the turnover. I personally think Huntington Valley's the top. And I tease with this. Cricket won 5 of the last 10, and Huntington Valley's won about 35 of these overall. So I fully expect to see a T-shirt from these 2 guys the next time I see each of them covered with their years of winning. I guarantee it.
It will happen, and we'll have it for you here on Inside Golf. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll have to have you back maybe to do a post-mortem. I don't know if that's the right phrase or not.
Probably.
But maybe. And see how everything turned out. It's the Gap team matches. How many years? 123 years and counting. And, you know, if you're a member of one of these clubs, even if you're not, try to find out where they're going to be playing and come out and cheer. Maybe that'll help Andrew get his team sparked up after that disappointment last year. Just kidding. All right, we'll be back. More of Inside Golf in just a moment.
Hello everyone, Joanna Coe here. I'm going to explain how a hula hoop can be a great visual for when you practice and the visual of how you swing around you. So first of all, the golf ball is on the ground. So we need inclination at setup. Golf ball isn't up here like baseball, it is down on the ground, so we need inclination. Second, the golf club is swung around us. You can see how this hula hoop is tilted. So a great visual for you all at home is the golf swing is not a Ferris wheel, it is not a merry-go-round, it is somewhere in between. So you can see this arc on the ground as well. I love this arc rather than just a straight alignment stick. because that explains to you that we swing around us rather than straight up and down. The flatter the club, the longer the club, like a driver, is swung around us even more. So these shapes can give you a great visual when you're on the range and you're struggling, or you can see your local PGA professional for tips like this.
Hi, Tony Salucci with the Beacon Group of Companies. If your company has between 50 and 500 employees enrolled in your health insurance plan, there's a really good chance we can reduce your costs significantly and increase the benefits employees receive. How do we do it? We put you together with several thousand employers of a similar size across the country, so your company can get amazing buying power. Schedule a conversation with one of our employee benefits specialists today at mybeacongroup.com.
Last week, Philadelphia in the golf world lost one of its greatest champions. Jay Sigel passed away, leaving behind an unmatched career. Only Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods won more USGA championships than Jay. And at the age of 50, he joined the PGA Tour champions and won 8 times. He was also a champion off the course, helping to raise millions of dollars for the Abramson Family Cancer Research Center at the University of Pennsylvania. To his wife, Betty, and her 3 daughters, Inside Golf extends our heartfelt condolences on the loss of a loving and dedicated husband and father, and a champion in everything he did. That's it for this week's edition of Inside Golf from the Lou. I love this hat. Hey, our thanks to John Rusk and also Vince Hill, filling us in on all the work that has been done over the last 3 years. Bunkers, irrigation, and new tee boxes, and that's going to linger on into next year. You know, these guys that work on golf courses, whether it's a superintendent or part of the crew, I always refer to them as the unsung heroes of the game. And you got a little snippet today out of the kind of work that they do. You may not see it all the time, but you see the results. And where would we be, where would the game be without the crews and the superintendents that do such a great job? I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you on the course or off, don't pick up. We'll see you next week right here on Philadelphia's most popular golf show for the last 28 years, Inside Golf. The 28th season of Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf, the First Tee of Greater Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Association of Golf Course Superintendents, the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, Jersey Man and Philly Man Magazine, and Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia section of the PGA.